industry automated driving assistance system. Similarly, academic and teaching is not an exception. Friends, yes, regularly we work on teaching. We deliver content in our classroom. We work a lot on research fronts, write research papers. Now, yes, there is a change. Whatever we are doing, the way we are doing, we have seen during this pandemic period, things were changing. We haven't seen that AICT is sponsoring earlier the online training programs. Basically, these training programs is in contact mode. Faculty development program is in contact mode. But now we find that from last 1 year, all these programs is also in an online mode. And we find that technology is upgrading. The platforms that we were using, so all these things are changing. Prior to that, we have seen that most of the time we find that students or even children who are in schools, they were busy with their mobile devices, because as far as the content that we are delivering in class or the content that we are covering, all this content is available in a different mode, in a video formats or in other formats, whatever the books that we keep in our library. Earlier, if we have to access any books or the content, we have to go to library or to access these contents. But now all this content is easily available. So yes, a big transformation is there. Now, what is the effect or impact of that transformation on teaching front? Yes, we need to enhance our skills. So this particular session is basically focusing on that. So initially, I'm covering a few aspects related to IoT that we find in specific, whether it's a product or in industry, I'm sure about it because there are sessions where we have respected resource persons from manufacturing industries, so they cover those aspects. Now, when we talk about Internet of Things, so this is something, the connected world. So if the things were connected, maybe your home, maybe a workplace, or whatever we are doing, all these things, all these devices are connected. At time, we have to give instruction, but now they take those instructions, the way we live, they record our habits, each and everything. So accordingly, these devices are behaving. So might be the devices, if you are in your home, so automated robots, automated machine, that particular machine is making chapatis. Then as the clothes is concerned, we use washing machine, but now a different device is IoT connected device is available. So no need to wash your clothes, no need to do ironing on your clothes, automated devices. The lights basically are mood-based lights. So whenever you are going, so accordingly, the lights are changing. So this is what we have seen the world. Now, then we move towards the education, like what is the effect of that, the effect or impact of technology on education, the data we were collected earlier, and now the data we are going to collect it in an automated mode. So what exactly the machine learning is. So if machine is learning things, so how fast they are able to interpret the data. So these are the things, these are the portions that we have to cover. So yes, the first slide, we have seen the Internet of Things. So all things are connected, then the grids are there, so interconnected home. Then we have seen a refrigerator, so that refrigerator is communicating with the help of Internet. So Internet of Things. So things are connected to Internet and how they are working. Now let us see. Carissa, just check it out whether the sound is audible or not.
Okay, sir. Yes, sound is there, sir.
Fine, thank you. Now, what is important in this device as Rotimatic is concerned, basically it's a Singapore-based company. So when they manufacture this particular machine and they deliver it all over the world, the thing is, if suppose you face any technical failure in this machine, then how those failures is to be sorted out. So this is Wi-Fi IoT connected device. So if you have any problem, they'll sort it out from far off location. Okay. So then there is an app in your mobile phone, and that app can use your camera on mobile phone. So if there is something that which is, if they want to see something, then with the help of your mobile phone, yes, the device, they can sort it out. The problem, they can sort it out from far off location. So the advantage of IoT is, yes, these devices, it's not necessary that service center is available in each and every place. So yes, these are the device that can be sorted out. Service can be from far off locations. Then see another video.
नमस्कार, मैं हूं विशाल अहलावत। आप देख रहे हैं लाइव हिंदुस्तान। तो आपके कपड़ों को बार बार धुलने का, उनको ड्राई क्लीन के लिए देने का झंझट काफी हद तक कम होने जा रहा है, क्योंकि सैमसंग एक बड़े कमाल की डिवाइस कहें या यूनिट कहें लेकर आया इंडिया में पहली बार। ये है सैमसंग का क्लोथिंग केयर सॉल्यूशन एयर प्रेशर। ये काम क्या करता है? ये काम करता है कि आपके जो महंगे कपड़े हैं, कीमती कपड़े हैं, वो कपड़े जिनको आप ज्यादा पसंद करते हैं, उनको रिफ्रेश करता है। उनमें से जो वायरस है, बैक्टीरिया है, उनको खत्म करता है, और उसमें अगर कोई बदबू जैसी कोई चीज है, उसको भी काफी हद तक खत्म कर देता है। ये जो यूनिट है, ये 4 प्रोसेस में काम करती है। 4 स्टेप्स में इसका प्रोसेस काम करता है। वो पहले स्टेप होता है जेट स्टीम का, दूसरा प्रोसेस होता है जेट एयर का, थर्ड प्रोसेस ड्राई करने का होता है, और जो फोर्थ प्रोसेस होता है वो लगातार चलता रहता है। उसमें से अगर कुछ बदबू है, ऐसी चीजों को खत्म करता रहता है। इसमें मैं आपको खोल के दिखा दूं, ओपन करके दिखाऊं, तो इसमें आपको 3 हैंगर मिल जाते हैं। हालांकि अगर आप चाहे तो इनकी संख्या भी अपने हिसाब से बढ़ा सकते हैं। तो एक डेमो के तौर पे मैं आपको एक ब्लेजर को इसमें लटका के दिखा देता हूं कि किस तरह से काम करता है। आपको इसको हैंगर में लेना है, और यहाँ पर ये पूरी तरह से फिट हो जाएगा। फिट होने के बाद यहाँ पर ढेर सारे ऑप्शंस दिए गए हैं इसकी स्क्रीन पर। इसकी स्क्रीन को आपको स्टार्ट करना है, और अपने कपड़े के फैब्रिक के हिसाब से आप अलग अलग मोड सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं। जैसे कि नॉर्मल मोड दिया गया है, या फिर डेलिकेट मोड दिया गया है, क्विक मोड दिया गया है। उस समय
So these are the devices. If I'm talking about the IoT, so yes, both the devices is connected to internet. You can control it through your phone. So even if you are not in your home, you can control these devices from far off location. So we have seen the use of IoT in manufacturing. We have seen the product where IoT is used on day to day as far as our home is concerned. Similarly, there are the refrigerator, so they can monitor, customize of learning, healthy eating habits, etc. So these are the lights. These are the devices. They basically study your habits. the way you live, the way you work. So at time we find it whenever we place an order on Amazon. So the type of search that we do, normally the same type of listing we find it. So there we find it as data analytics. So here, the same way as these devices is, whatever your liking is, accordingly, the things were stored automatically, and then these devices work in that manner. Now, let us see. Now, technology will never replace great teachers, but in the hands of great teacher, it's transformational. Now, if we were talking about the technology and education, so then there are some hurdles in the way of digitization when we talk about the academic. So quality of education in the future will be measured not just on the caliber of teacher, but also digital infrastructure. So acquainting teacher with digital learning, digital technologies is crucial for success. For this to be authentic, academia needs to be fully aware of their options and open to a radical transformation of the education sector. While many education bodies are moving towards conducting online examination that usually nowadays we conduct, many experts are against it, citing lack of framework and technology support as major reason. At time it happens that proper monitoring is not possible at this point of time. So we feel that online examination, yes, needs lot of enhanced or upgraded infrastructure. Then recruitment of teachers, usually whenever we did earlier, should be based not only just proficiency and their educational qualification, but also digital competence and keenness for technology acceptance that will eventually help them connect with students online. Many institutions in rural areas have closed down due to deficient or complete lack of digital infrastructure. This is what we have seen in India on many of the rural or backward areas. Quick measures must be urgently taken to provide decent IT infrastructure. So students all over the nation have access to education and learning resources, be it remote learning, examination, evaluation, or assessments. Each steps will help bolster the nation's digital learning foundation in the long run. So yes, if we were talking about the digital learning or technology, so this is the main hurdle that at time we found. Most of the time we find that the faculty is comfortable with the traditional mode of delivery. So whenever institute go for enhanced technology, so if someone is not compatible with that technology, might be possible a teacher is very good, but he or she is not able to transform his or her knowledge to students because of digital infrastructure. This is the problem that nowadays many of the institute we face. Then for the one example, as far as the digital case study, so usually in management, we discuss the case studies. So this is a audio video based case study. So we can create an industry type of environment inside the classroom, and we can deal the particular concepts. So this case is basically related to Enron. So basically on Satyam, and take the example of Enron and WorldCom, because all these three companies have accounting frauds. So relate it with the nature of accounting fraud in Enron, then the nature of accounting fraud in WorldCom, and then what happens in India as the Satyam is concerned. So Satyam case, so audio video based case study. So the objective behind that is to create real environment inside the class, or even if a student is connected digitally, so wherever they are, yes, we are giving the same exposure that one can get if suppose he or she is watching a movie or So as this particular case is concerned, this is in detail, cover each and every aspect related to Satyam, what exactly happened. There are 12 points on which CBI filed their charge sheet, and when they investigate, so at that time, what happened exactly in media? So news, then corporate video, what is going on at that time inside the company, and then these facts and figures. So there are two ways. One is a normal mode when we take the case study, and another is audio video based, where we can create that real environment inside the classroom, what exactly happened at that time. So in each and every front, we are covering whether the news, media, then company, insider aspect of companies, and then facts and figures related to that case. So students, particularly in college, are increasingly moving away from paper books towards tablets and laptops with all of the necessary information at their fingertips. So a student can now learn at their own pace and have nearly identical educational experience in their home and in the classroom because of virtual connectivity. And while this trend provides increased convenience for a student, it also makes the teaching process more efficient for professors. The surge is connected technology means that instructors do not need to manually grade tests on paper or perform other routine tasks. So yes, the role of teacher is changing. Earlier, we have to do a lot of manual work, but if we go for these technologies, that manual or the task that we conduct, those tasks become an automated task. So if suppose you have to evaluate answer sheets, no need to evaluate, automated, that evaluation is possible. Further, there is a concept that educators and learners Internet of Things. So educators and learners Internet of Things, because these things are connected. This is one video that Mr. Sundar Pichai is delivering the address in Google.
Last year at Google I/O, we announced Google AI. It's a collection of our teams and efforts to bring the benefits of AI to everyone. And we want this to work globally, so we are opening AI centers around the world. AI is going to impact many, many fields. And I want to give you a couple of examples today. Healthcare is one of the most important fields AI is going to transform. Last year, we announced our work on diabetic retinopathy, which is a leading cause of blindness, and we use deep learning to help doctors diagnose it earlier. And we've been running field trials since then at Aravind and Sankara hospitals in India, and the field trials are going really well. We are bringing expert diagnosis to places where trained doctors are scarce. It turned out, using the same retinal scans, there were things which humans quite didn't know to look for, but our AI systems offered more insights. Your same eye scan turns out holds information with which we can predict the 5-year risk of you having an adverse cardiovascular event, heart attack or strokes. So to me, the interesting thing is that, more than what doctors could find in these eye scans, the machine learning systems offered newer insights. This could be the basis for a new non-invasive way to detect cardiovascular risk. And we just published the research, and we are going to be working to bring this to field trials with our partners. Another area where AI can help is to actually help doctors predict medical events. Turns out doctors have a lot of difficult decisions to make, and for them, getting advance notice, say 24 to 48 hours before a patient is likely to get very sick, has a tremendous difference in the outcome. And so we put our machine learning systems to work. We've been working with our partners using de-identified medical records. And it turns out if you go and analyze over 100,000 data points per patient, more than any single doctor could analyze, we can actually quantitatively predict the chance of readmission 24 to 48 hours before, earlier than traditional methods. It gives doctors more time to act. We are publishing our paper on this later today, and we are looking forward to partnering with hospitals and medical institutions.
Now, Here we have seen as AI, artificial intelligence and integration of artificial intelligence with machine learning. So on one front, yes, the data is collected through artificial intelligence, and then the data is interpreted through machine learning and finally reached on certain conclusion. Yes, we have seen wearable devices where ECG, your oxygen, blood oxygen level, then your blood pressure, all these things monitored 24 hours. And if there is any fluctuation in any of the indicator is to be reflected. So yes, now this particular information, if suppose we were talking about the medical science, if I'm talking about the computer science, or if we talk about the management, so how the things are integrated, we find that in medical science, most of the technology is to be used. Then as that technology, there are softwares. So that software is controlling that particular device. And then machine learning, the data is interpreted and results are coming in front of us. So this is what the trend that we have seen nowadays as far as educators and learners Internet of Things. So this is the concept, this is the theme basically that we are focusing as the current scenario is concerned. In traditionally, we find that most of the institutes, 70% of students feel bored at school all the time because there is some mismatch. And that mismatch is their life, the content that they are getting on their digital devices and the deliveries that they found, there is gap. Then 80% of surveyed kids feel constant stress. 75% of students answered a "how are you doing" question with a negative reply. Then why are children and parents unhappy with what educational institutions have to offer? Obviously, we are focusing, there are certain changes coming in new education policy, but yes, we have to focus more on skill enhancement front. And then if we talk about the skill enhancement, how to create an environment inside the class where a student can enhance their skills. So obviously, the things that we are delivering, the way we are covering in my presentation, later on I covered, there are a lot of restrictions nowadays as far as the science students is concerned for their dissections and all. So what role a digital technology is playing, how they can conduct their dissections and all with the help of digital platform. Now, there's a concept of digital campus. So what exactly a digital campus? Because we have seen number of things. Right now, we are delivering on one particular platform. Institute is using their enterprise resource planning. So ERP is having. Then classroom is having their own digital infrastructure. Then digital attendance management system. So if someone is coming from our main gate from the institute or inside the campus, or if a student is entering inside the classroom, then yes, virtual cameras are there to record the attendance and face recognition system is there. So automated data is recorded. So how the integrated system is working. So this is what the Cisco's concept of digital campus, where the integration of 5 areas, that is building control and management, security and access control, video and information system, then location and attendance system, energy monitoring and control. So all these things is to be controlled with the help of concept of digital campus. So digital campus system is an important platform for a student to get all kind of information. New technologies are also affecting other areas of campus administration. So there's an increasing demand for higher education institutions, especially universities, to digitize their content and activities. So whatever the content that we have to digitize it. Maybe the lecture that we deliver in classroom. So yes, that lecture is supposed to be in video format. The books, e-library, yes, that is also available in e-format. So digitize their content and activities and adapt their method to allow academic and researchers to work actually in a digital environment. A well-designed physical campus, completely integrated technology is fundamental for building the brand of digital universities or institutions. By enhancing the student experience and providing the appropriate setting and facilities for teaching, learning, and research, it promotes support and encourage lifelong learning. A digital university must have the technology that enable teaching and learning and empower collaborative research. All contemporary digital threats can be faced by university if they compete. However, few have the vision, flexibility, platform, or appropriate leadership to put in place the strategies to ensure that they can innovate or react to marketplace conditions. Within a digital campus, technology can reduce operational costs. Obviously, it's one-time cost, but later on, yes, operational aspect is, or operational cost is less. Then improve security and offer tool for researchers, academics, students, and staff. These benefits provide real value to universities, operation, and development. The experience of students and researchers, the digital campus comprises two main components. Firstly, it reuse the IT service delivery platform, end-to-end infrastructure to provide network connectivity, mobility, and security for all applications and services across the campus. Secondly, it includes a large number of Internet of Things applications. So Internet of Things applications means a Wi-Fi environment where all these applications are connected. In many of the campus nowadays also, if suppose the campus area is say more than 5, 10 or 15 or 20 or 25 or even more than that. So yes, a Wi-Fi environment is there where a student can access all digital resources wherever they are within the campus. So yes, IoT play an important role so to access all this information. Then the wireless network has a main role to play within the digital campus, thus must be designed to meet the high demand of modern universities or institutes. In addition, IoT reform and change the teaching and learning in the campus. For example, the IoT in the training of the same site, making the teaching space, training venues, sports venues, learning dormitories, restaurant, and student across the campus of IoT, making the campus to train students anytime and anywhere can become a physical, mental, and skill place to acquire the knowledge. This is what the main objective behind the concept of digital campus. So if all the things are interconnected, I'll show you later on in videos how exactly these interconnected campus and these resources is working. So now the differentiation, earlier what happens, the first generation institute, the differentiation on the basis of the infrastructure, the resource, the intellect capital that institute is having. Now, technology would play an important role because might be possible you have very good infrastructure, you have very good intellect capital, but how you are going to transform it. Recently, we have seen as AICT 21-22, this extension approval or the manual, we have seen whatever the current intake of institute can go up to 3 times of that for online programs if institute fulfill the particular criteria that they can offer the online program. So if you are going to offer an online program, what would be the mode? What would be the modus of operation? Even at present, we find it now 60-70% is in physical mode, then remaining in an online mode. These are the things. So how you are going to differentiate yourself with others or the other institute? Right now, differentiating parameter is your infrastructure, your intellect capital, the research work that institute is doing. But now, yes, there is another parameter. The backbone of institute is the IT infrastructure. So IT infrastructure, if I'm talking about, so IoT-based infrastructure, the digital campus, how you are going to deliver it. We have seen the example of whether it's the Bajus or an academy these are the examples we have seen as far as education segment is concerned, the size of market is concerned, the investment that these people are doing in technology. So the way these classrooms, so in front of your computer or your tablet, in front of that, the entire classroom is available. So lecture, then digital resources, if suppose you want to do any practicals, so each and everything is available in front of you. So this is what we have seen. Now, what would be the structure of formal education? The programs. So what type of technology and how we are going to add value into that? This next slide is impact of Internet of Things on higher education. So first one is Internet of Things, then Internet of Everything, then how these things are connected. So IoT is going to affect every part of society at some point in the near future. So higher education institutions in general and universities in particular can work across discipline and lead the progress of IoT technology, business models, ethics, and leaders of IoT enabled economy of the future. For example, university instructor in institute, instructor of computer science and engineer are directing IoT lab for the development of IoT technology. In addition, informatics college can teach how to leverage the size of IoT data. Then they can work with business college to set and design IoT courses to create new business models. Medical college can empower the Internet of Medical Things, as well as law college can teach IoT ethics, privacy, and policy. Then higher education institute commence to develop and leverage solutions such as RFID, that is radio frequency identification, and cloud computing through IoT technology. They will be able to analyze and manage big data. The IoT is not just a technology, update and development within the industry, but can lead to expand the change to the whole society, including higher education institutions. IoT will lead the change and reform the higher education institutions. IoT will lead to change in educational technology reforms, the education, change in teaching, change in learning, management of change, experimental and practical changes, then changes in campus, teaching resource changes and others. With the development of IoT, the prospective application in higher education lies in the three aspects. First, students' progressive evaluation. Second, integration of current teaching platform. Then third, development of educational middleware. Okay, so from intake, then processing of students, and then a student is going out from the institute. So entire process is covered with the help of IoT, and the data is collected, and with the help of machine learning, yes, analysis is possible. Then this change provides increased convenience for students and makes the teaching process more effective for instructors and teachers. The flow in connected devices and technology means that instructor and professors can focus on the actual learning that is more useful to the student rather than perform the routine task, routine time-consuming task where the evaluation and other work is going on. So yes, that work is automated now. In addition, IoT has the ability to increase the learning experience by providing for real-time and actionable insight into student performance. Nowadays, students, particularly in universities or in higher education institutes, are gradually moving away from textbook to new technologies such as tablets and laptops. And on these devices, yes, whatever the content that they usually search on books now in the form of ebooks or in the form of videos, yes, that content is available. So the advanced e-learning application allows students to learn at their own pace and have an identical learning experience in classroom and home. For example, a particular subject, say in business school, say operations management. In operations management, you have 3 teachers. Now, a student is having a choice on digital platform, the same topic covered by one first teacher, second teacher, or third teacher. So a student can access the video record of first teacher or the second or the third one. Then on the same time, a student can access the library or a particular book, or if suppose teacher is covering from XYZ book, so from that book, a particular unit a student can access. So might be possible in a batch of 60, one student is comfortable with a particular teacher and another one is comfortable with another teacher. So yes, that choice is available. So the student can access those videos, that content, then access on the same time the library or the books from the library or the content that teacher referred in that particular class. So that content is available in front of the student. So yes, that wider choice is available. Then moreover, through IoT technology, professor can collect data about students' performance and then determine which one need more care and attention. So yes, if the data of the classroom is divided, say the 60 students, so a mediocre student, average student, or the best performer students. So that data is divided. So teacher can easily identify is on particular student, we have to focus more. And then this particular student, a different approach is to be used. So accordingly, the delivery could be planned and a student can access those digital resources. So if a student is weak, they can work more on elementary level content. And if they have any doubt, they can inquire it on real-time basis online with the teacher. So yes, it's possible. So this data analysis also help instructor accurately change plan and method for future classes. Then additionally, connected device can allow instructor to do dynamic classroom intervention as well as logging attendance will be simplified. If a student have a wearable device, I'll show you next video how exactly this type of concept or this type of class is working. I'll show you that. Wearable device that track ECG pattern. Furthermore, these devices can redirect a student's attention by giving a warm-up activity and exercise to do on their own devices. Also, EEG sensor, will show you this also. EEG sensor can be used during course to monitor students' cognitive activities. This vision and understanding give a stakeholder with a view of student, organization, and financial assets. This asset intelligence enable organization to make informed decisions in order to enhance student knowledge and learning experience, operational proficiency, and the security of campus. Then, by enhancing asset intelligence, education institution can enhance outcome by adding value in some areas, include enhanced learning, experiences and outcome, improved operational efficiency, safer campus design. Moreover, outside of the classroom or universities can use connected device to monitor their student, staff, resources, and equipment at a reduced operational cost. So the growth of mobile technology and the IoT enabled units to improve the security of campus, enhance access to information and application at any time from anywhere, and keep track of main resources. So IoT is changing the student learning experience besides facilities management by connecting individual data and things. Now, we see how exactly IoT is working. IoT applications in education. Let us see. Foreign language instructors, connected smart classroom, task-based learning, disability accommodation, then special education, physical education, school security, classroom monitoring using video as a sensor technology, then attendance monitoring automation, student physical and mental health, learning from home, personalized learning. Now let us see the first one, the foreign language. So foreign languages, suppose we are delivering or we are teaching, suppose a French or German here. So the teacher is teaching a French or a German. But on the same time, if suppose we create an environment inside the classroom that a student think that it's a glass wall, and on other side, students from France or students from US is sitting, and they are communicating. So from India, a student is communicating in Hindi, and from that side, a student is communicating in English, and the language is converted accordingly, English and Hindi. So if this type of classroom is available, then what would be the effect or impact on learning? On the same time, not necessary the teacher is there in the classroom. May be possible teacher is sitting in their home or anywhere else, and they are able to regulate this particular classroom from there itself. Let us see. So one of the most powerful mechanisms for learning foreign language is immersion, whose secret weapon is real-time feedback. When learning French in France, you get real-time feedback from native speaker for free. These environments are difficult to recreate outside of country where the language is spoken. That's where IoT comes in. So using connected devices to determine whether a student have made the correct statement of selection in foreign language, simulation environment, teachers are able to provide real-time feedback to students and automatically monitor student progress. So this is possible. Now, next we'll see the task-based. So the connected smart classroom. The classroom of the future will be truly tech-enabled. That is, AR will make dissection day much more human by obviating the need for actual animals. And VR will replace history class with upfront seat to planning for World War and science class with a true to size demonstration of the particle that make up life as we know it. So all this is possible with the help of digital classrooms. So IoT application in education will be the foundation on which these classrooms operate. A student will automatically counted as present or tardy when the bell rings. Wearable device will determine when the class is too tired or disengaged and may need a break. And whiteboards will record all notes taken in a class. Smart microphones may even recognize when a teacher mentions there is a homework assignment due and update a student's planner accordingly. So all these things are updated automatically. How?
A game that's quickly shifted from the elegant-looking board to trackpads and touchscreens. So technology stepped up. Not sure if the game's evolved with it. How about revolutionizing the way it's played, though?
Oh my god, that's crazy.
So bizarre. It was like playing against a ghost.
Harry Potter wizard's chess, like them moving. I was just like amazed.
Introducing SquareOff, the most evolved and connected chessboard ever. SquareOff's here to change the way chess is played.
It's something you don't see every day.
Imagine, you can challenge anyone from any corner of the world. Doesn't matter if the opponent has a board or not. Just a swipe and the board reflects all the moves in real time.
That's awesome. Engaging way to play across distance.
This intelligent chessboard is coded in such a genius way that the chess pieces don't collide when they move on their own.
Really unique experience to play with the pieces as opposed to on just an app or something like that.
Its training mode allows you to play with SquareOff's artificial intelligence. so you can brush up on your skills too.
It's incredibly smart.
But the most amazing thing about this is live streaming of the professional matches. You can watch every expert move made by the ace players right on your SquareOff board. It's taken years to perfect this thoughtfully designed board. And who better to tell you about this journey than the founders themselves?
Initially, the prototype was just against a computer for visually impaired people. But then we can be a connected board gaming platform.
The development of SquareOff has led us to innovate in some amazing technology, like sensing the user interaction with the board and the precise magnetic motions.
SquareOff is the result of 3 whole years of tireless effort. Several prototypes were made, feedback and suggestions were gathered at various exhibitions, and finally, the beta product was ready.
The most important design aspect for us was to maintain the traditional feel of the chessboard.
So we wanted to take people off the screen back to the traditional board.
The future of board games looks like a lot of fun, doesn't it?
Just updating the app and replacing the surface will enable you to play any game you like,
anytime, anywhere.
Please back SquareOff, a Kickstarter.
I would definitely back it.
Guys, whoever's watching this,
If you're a fan of chess, then you should definitely
support SquareOff on Kickstarter.
We feel this is the future of board gaming. Please back us and share our campaign.
Oh my god, it's like the board is alive. It's so weird.
SquareOff.
So when we talk about the academics, it's not only the academic, but all front activities. So yes, IoT is playing an important role. So whether it's the co-curricular activities and other activities, we find it, yes, for table tennis, yes, robot is available. So along with robot, you could play a table tennis. Bowling machine is available in cricket. So whoever you want, like the other side, the bowler from any team from all over the world, that type of bowling is possible. And you can have an experience with the help of a robot. The same way we find it in other sports also. Here we have seen the example of chessboard. So it's not the on digital screen on your mobile or your iPad screen you are playing the chess, but the actual real life experience you are getting. So your partner is anywhere in the world, but you can have that particular experience in this. So one of the structural shift taking place in education is the move from a knowledge transfer model to a collaborative information sharing system. So yes, it's the collaborative world. Our networking is possible with the help of digital connectivity. So IoT will have a profound impact on the way we teach because connected systems free up teacher from recording and monitoring students, enabling them to facilitate learning rather than merely to regurgitate information in task-based instruction. So students learn by doing and teacher assist when needed. This is very important. So IoT system provide feedback, assistance, and classroom level monitoring automatically by signaling teacher for help and by increasing difficulty when necessary. So no student fall too far behind nor gets too far ahead, a problem that has always persisted in the contact mode of classroom. So this is what we could sort it out as far as these challenges is concerned. Then the next is the disability accommodations. So IoT may prove helpful for students who identify as disabled. Hearing impaired students may utilize a system of connected globes and a table of translate from sign language to verbal speech, converting sound into written language using IoT devices, and system is constructive way to provide educational assistance to disabled learners. Earlier, what happens? For disabled, we need a dedicated teacher. But now, with the help of technology, any teacher can teach disabled students with the help of IoT, because that transformation is with the help of connected devices. Now, IoT and AI in classroom, whatever we discussed earlier, how exactly these things are implemented in the classroom? What are these bands? How these bands are collecting data? Because we have seen a wearable devices, the Apple Watch or other wearable devices. So with the help of that, yes, the ECG, then your oxygen level, then your pulse, and etc. Other data is collecting this device. On the same time, how much steps you are running, that data is collected in your mobile and your wearable device. But how these devices are helpful in classroom, inside the classroom. Let us see. This is very good video from China. See this.
红色是表示你的专注力显示的很高。
Teachers at this primary school in China
蓝色是走神了，
know exactly when someone isn't paying attention.
白色就是你可能跟网络还没有连接好。
These headbands measure each student's level of concentration. The information is then directly sent to the teacher's computer and to parents. China has big plans to become a global leader in artificial intelligence. It has enabled a cashless economy where people make purchases with their faces. A giant network of surveillance cameras with facial recognition helps police monitor citizens. Meanwhile, some schools offer glimpses of what the future of high-tech education in the country might look like.
做出选择吧 Good job!
Classrooms have robots that analyze students' health and engagement levels. Students wear uniforms with chips that track their locations. There are even surveillance cameras that monitor how often students check their phones or yawn during classes. These gadgets have alarmed Chinese netizens. But schools say it wasn't hard for them getting parental consent to enroll kids into what is one of the world's largest experiments in AI education. A program that's supposed to boost students' grades while also feeding powerful algorithms.
为了就是国家的这个研究呀、发展呀，我觉得是没有问题的。
The government has poured billions of dollars into the project, bringing together tech giants, startups, and schools. We got exclusive access to a primary school a few hours outside of Shanghai.
2、3，同学们早上好。
So in this video, we have seen how the data is collected, captured, and then machine learning analysis of data. So teacher is getting online real-time the data and the information. So the same information is shared with the parents. So one can focus it comfortably with the help of those indicators on their band, whether a student is focusing or not. So yes, all this data is collected and accordingly compiled and used. So this is what the future as far as the classroom is concerned. And here, it's not some sci-fi movies where we talk about. This is something that within next 6 months to 1 year, we find the same thing is available here also in India. Yes, that's why we are saying the differentiating parameter become our technology. So more focused approach and how to enhance the intellect level of a student. Yes. So teacher is becoming more and more facilitator in that class because online real-time data is available in front of a teacher. So teacher can focus on those students, a type of attention required. So teacher could plan it out, their session accordingly. So these are the prerequisites for trainers. So according to World Economic Forum, the skills that are crucial for the future workforce are not yet or rarely taught at school. So computer science and AI understanding, then collaboration and ethics, problem solving and logic and creativity. 15 or 20 years back, when we prepare our CV, we write it computer proficiency. So in computer proficiency, we write it whatever the operating system and MS Office and all. We write this as computer proficiency 20 years back. But nowadays, we think that this is something mandatory that each and every one of us should know about it. So the same thing is prerequisite for trainers as the basics of computer science and AI understanding is expected from each one of us. So one can handle this technology if is available in our institute. So one is friendly with this technology. Collaboration and ethics. Yes, when we talk about the IoT, the connected world, So it's not only the 10, 15, 20, 25, 50 faculties in a particular institute, but yes, all over the world, they are connected. So yes, collaboration and ethics play an important role. Then problem solving and logic, because this is what the backbone of technology. Then creativity, how creative you are, because there are many alternate use of technology. So how creative you use that particular technology inside the classroom play an important role. So this is another example how a book could be transformed with the help of pen type of a scanner. So if we have to share any document, any data, or any information, yes, these things are very comfortable. Earlier, either a document scanner camera is to be used or that particular book is to be scanned. But now on real-time basis, yes, these things is possible. So whatever time that earlier took as far as the typing and other things, so it's possible with the help of these devices. So IoT enhances support institutions to take more informed decisions, improve student learning experience, and automate manual and clerical labor, and facilitates supervision, enhances operational efficiency and campus security. So this is what the objective of IoT. So whenever we talk about the connected devices, yes, these are the prerequisites of all these devices. Now, let us see. Earlier, what happens whenever we collect the data, so manually we have to collect the data. But now, yes, the sensors were available. So sensor collect 24 hours, 7 days, 365 days data, and then one can compile that data. Whereas manually, when we collect that data and compile that data for any research purpose or for any decision-making purpose, so there are some lags in that. Now, if automated devices collect the data, see this.
To the residents of the city of Chicago, as well as to scientists and policymakers. Over the next 2 years, we'll be installing a network of 500 sensor devices that will help us to better understand some of the challenges of city life, whether that's urban flooding or air quality and asthma, and give us information that will help scientists to better understand what's at the root of some of these challenges. Will help policymakers use that insight to start to address some of the challenges.
We'll be able to understand things like road conditions better because the array of things will help us see where water is collecting, and it will help us understand pedestrian and vehicular traffic patterns better so that we can offer better services.
So if the sensor is installed in all those places, so the data is collected automatically and the data is used for a more planned manner. Earlier, when we collect manually, then the decisions are not that much accurate, but now it's possible. So now let us see as far as the science is concerned, where the dissections play an important role. So this is what dissect digitally. Then Tech Time can help you transform your teaching through digital dissection program that a student can access at home. Animals are not ours to use for science, and that classroom dissection is indefensible. Modern science curriculum and standards no longer require or even refer to animal dissection. But yes, that dissection is very important. Then only one could learn as far as the insight is concerned. So how is possible? Let us see.
Imagine if there was a virtual dissection tool that could visually enrich your lectures or lab experiences, dynamically reinforce key concepts, capture the intangible characteristics of human anatomy and physiology that can be conveyed only through human specimens. Imagine that and much more, all without ever walking into a laboratory. Well, imagine no more. We introduce to you today a revolutionary approach to teaching. A cadaver dissection.
So this is what the tools that one could use it, digital tools for dissection purpose and giving a real life experience also. So one is getting the same learning that earlier one is getting through those dissections. So this is what the advantage as far as the digital learning is concerned. Then geographical boundaryless education anytime from anywhere. Yes, smart boards and mobile apps are the latest device related to the IoT in the field of education. So it's not those traditional smart boards where simply we are writing and recording, but yes, as these smart boards are the devices where they know who is writing, they are able to recognize the teachers also. So automatically the data is recorded in that particular folder where that particular teacher is keeping all their records. So that type of device. Then these smart boards are very helpful in making the whole teaching learning experience interesting. Then mobile apps are another great way to access education from anywhere at any time. Yes, mobile app with the help of mobile app. So the reach is increasing. Then therefore, by using these devices, students sitting at their home or anywhere else can interact with educators, mentors, and peers across the world. Right now, we are using the Zoom platform or the Google Meet. These are the digital platforms. These platforms were made for corporate meeting purpose. But now the alternate use we have seen more than the corporate, the other institutes are using as these platforms. So in a similar way, that innovative mindset is required as far as academics is concerned. One more thing that we find that whenever we deliver it in class, so we deliver in a same pace for all the students. Whereas with the help of digital learning, we can differentiate the students. Whoever require the type of approach that a student requires. So accordingly, we can focus like this. So all are not the same. When IoT, each student can be evaluated and monitored on an individual basis. So customized assessment system can be developed to provide need-based evaluation framework for students. Now, when we talk about a lot of IoT and all these things, so what are the risks involved in this particular platform or in digitization of the campus? So yes, cyber security, then initial learning curve, ongoing learning curves, the cost, blue light, access. So cybersecurity, from exposing personal information to enabling cyberbullying, there are many well-known cybersecurity risks that come with using the largely vulnerable IoT network. One study conducted by HP found that 70% of the IoT devices tested contain security vulnerabilities. So yes, this is the one important aspect. Then initial learning curve, what it means. The sheer diversity of devices and applications can make tapping into the power of the IoT a bit overwhelming. The challenge for teachers is struggling to adopt to new gadgets and then use them with tech-savvy students can be intimidating. So yes, this initial learning curve is also a big challenge when we are training all these things to the teachers. Because as far as the student is concerned, they are more tech-savvy if we compare to these the teachers. So at time it happens that teacher is facing this technology hitch. Then ongoing learning curve. Once you have set up an IoT initiative in your classrooms, it must be maintained. This involves regularly updating technology, taking new cybersecurity measures, and even setting up mandatory tech boot camps to keep your staff up to date. Because this is something that updating very fast. So it's not like that one time you invested in this and forget it. No. Every 6 months, every year, you have to update it, and accordingly, you have to maintain this infrastructure. Then the cost aspect, then saving money on paper and textbook is helpful, but buying technology regularly can be prohibitively expensive. So requiring thousands and thousands of rupees to provide a single classroom with devices, let alone an entire school, then with legislations or the Cyber Act and other security parameters that one is supposed to fulfill. So yes, a fund is required. So when the budget isn't there, it can pose challenges. Then blue light. Many IoT devices involve screens that expose users to blue light. While this is okay in small doses, excessive exposure can be unhealthy and should never fully substitute for physical learning activities. So yes, it's a mixed mode of learning, physical as well as digital. But yes, in physical mode also, the data is captured through digital devices. Then access. The IoT is the internet. So it's the same internet we have been connecting to for decades. But now it supports more devices than ever because of higher bandwidth. This can pose a challenge when students are expected to access study material online from home. Then on many places, yes, the connectivity issues or speed issues is to be there. So yes, this is another challenge that is to be handled. So these are the basic risks that one could face as far as the implementation of digital campuses. Finally, if I'm concluding, the Internet of Things is the new normal that is fast spreading around the world. It is actually helping create a unipolar learning environment, which is accessible from anywhere at any time. Then, with rising support of the government and backing of corporate players, very soon many schools and colleges will have IoT embedded into their day-to-day activities. The need to create administrative system with a proactive approach that can benefit all stakeholders, most importantly, future of tomorrow, that is the student community. So in order to make IoT equitable in education, it will have to be economically viable enough for a majority of the institutions to be able to implement it. But yes, we do not have any option. Now we have to go ahead and go ahead. Yes, in future, the differentiation is basically on the basis of technology. So it's yes, infrastructure, then intellect capital, the faculty front, the resources that we have, then library. So in library now, the digital resources, the applications that you are using, then simulation environment that you can create. And along with this, teacher is supposed to be friendly with all these things. Then only this particular thing is successful in any of the institute. So, okay. Thank you so much. Thanks from my side. Now, if there is any questions from your side, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Participants, if you are having any query related to the session, so I have given you unmuting rights. You can ask that question from sir. Or if you want to ask, you can write in chat also. Yes, participants, make this session more interactive so that we can understand this particular concept very well. So I request everyone kindly ask any question or query if you are having. Yeah, Sarita ma'am is there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Sarita ma'am, do you want to ask any query or
Yes,
question
sir.
regarding
Yes,
the
sir.
topic? Yeah.
I just want to ask one question, sir. You have shown one video where you have seen where it was clearly mentioned that what students are doing in school, whether they're attending, whether they're attentive, whether they are listening, everything can be monitored.
Yeah.
And same thing with employees also. But sir, I feel that it could be really stressful for a student to know that someone is watching them 24/7. So that could be more stressful. So instead of having more productivity, it can also give that kind of fear in an individual that because someone is watching me, I have to do this. So I think,
It was,
yes, sir.
in fact, madam, in that video itself, there is a feedback from the students. So one of the students mentioning the same thing. And one more thing, that if every student is in between 85 to 90 or 85 to 100, then there is a competition in that range. And yes, that pressure is there in the minds of a student, and everyone is like in every time if someone is watching and the data is collected and data is with the help of machine learning, the data is evaluated. So the performance is evaluated like in that complete duration. So yes, that stress is there. And the solution is like in that particular class, basically they are just evaluating. If suppose teacher is delivering a particular concept or anything, so teacher can check the how much attention that student is putting. So maybe in a batch of 40 or in a batch of 60, 30 students are putting their efforts and the remaining are not putting that effort. So teacher can plan it out like the approach needed for those students. So it's not that hard and fast that surveillance system where we are surveilling the students. It's the data that we are collecting, and accordingly teacher is using that data. So yes, initially, yes, student is in that pressure that we are monitored, but when person becomes habitual of that, so afterwards, yes, they are comfortable in that environment. And it depends. As far as these technologies is concerned, this technology is a new technology. So obviously, initially, all these things may come. But yes, we do not have any option. We have seen the videos in China. So China, the efforts that they are putting from pre-primary, primary level. So one can imagine it till higher education. So if the same person is coming from China, graduated from there in this environment, and one is graduated from India. So we have seen that now we rule in Silicon Valley. There are many Indians who are doing great job, but later on, after 5 years or 10 years down the line, if this type of manpower is coming from another country and the type of manpower that we have, so yes, we have to focus on that, what is good for India, and accordingly, the technology is supposed to be used, because now it's a global world, so the competition is open. So yes, there are few challenges.
The same thing actually when last year pandemic has started and many people were allowed to do work from home, especially IT sector. And that time I had a discussion with my friends who were in IT, and they were also saying the same thing, is that one side my organization is trusting me, but the other side we have to give each and every minute detail, every single
I'm sorry, the voice.
So it was a very headache for all the employers.
The voice distracts, so I didn't get it, your question. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, I was saying that when pandemic has started last year and IT organization were especially allowed to do work from home. So when I had an interaction with my friends who were in IT department, so they said ki even they were asked to give each and every hour detail what they have been doing. I mean, if they are working from work from home, they have to give each and every minute detail. So they were saying that one side, my organization is saying that you do work from home, we trust you that you will do best, but the other side, it shows that they are not trusting us at all. So they found that it is really very stressful for them. They thought that maybe I've been working in the organization for the past so many years and still my organization don't trust me. So there were very different variations among employees, to do work from home, or it's better to go there and work. So many things were there. So basically they just came out that it is really very stressful. It's like we are under camera 24/7 and we do not have freedom. So that's what they all came up with. And the same thing is what we have shown in IoT, where the students were monitored to and fro in the school. So, but as you rightly said, as technologies keep on changing, and we have to be in that pace. It's
Look,
like
ma'am,
whether you adapt it or you perish.
Look, this concept work from home is basically coming from IT sector. If 2 years back, we find, so in most of the IT companies, yes, this is very common as far as work from home is concerned. And they have a type of ERP system. If suppose someone is working from home, so the hours and work efficiency is calculated. So this thing is very common in IT sector. But especially if I'm talking about in academics, so initially, yes, we think that this is something very good, work from home, so one can take classes from home and all. So this is very good. But later on, now we realize when things become common and when we become usual for this type of work environment. So now we realize that this is something, it's better like if you are going to your institute and you work for this much hours, so yes, your deliverables is to be done. But ma'am, right now, as far as the different assumptions are there, so yes, from management point of view, one could think maybe that person is not giving full time or not putting the efforts. On other side, yes, person is putting their efforts. Right now, we do not have any such mechanism where we can record all these things. So the only thing is recorded the duration of lecture that you have taken. So 1 hour, 2 hour. Whereas in institute, when you work for 6 hours, 7 hours, or 8 hours, whatever your time is. But now, yes, gradually the system is working. So yes, the technology is working in such a manner that your appraisal system is automated. So whatever you are doing, even in online, is recorded and appraised in that manner. So it's very early stage because only in pandemic, most of the institutes shifted in online. Otherwise, traditional method we use. So these are the few challenges that right now we are facing, but I'm sure about it in next 1 to 2 years. Now it becomes part and parcel of our life. So every institute is working on that. There are many IT companies who are working hard on that type of solution. So in next 1 year, we find that these type of solutions is supposed to be available. So right now we are logging in the Zoom platform. Next time you are logging in the ERP of your institute to conduct all sort of online activities. So obviously is to be recorded and appraised is to be done.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other query other participants are having so they can ask to sir? Yeah, I think, sir, you have cleared all the query of the participants by delivering this particular lecture on IoT, case-based learning, where you have just talked about that how companies are using that IoT platform for making smart devices and how those smart devices can be used in classroom. So definitely, sir, the knowledge which you have delivered to us, we can incorporate that in our daily lecture in classroom, in virtual classroom, and we can further transform that knowledge to our students. So with these words, I would like to thank you, sir, for enlightening us with the knowledge. And today's session was full of knowledge and interesting things. So thank you, sir, for such a wonderful session on IoT or case-based learning. So thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Kali sir. Thanks to all.
Okay. Yeah. Participants, now announcements from our side. I have shared the feedback link in chat box, so you can just fill the feedback form. And tomorrow we'll be having session on business intelligence, HR analytics, and emotional intelligence. So stay tuned to that and kindly log in on 10 a.m. So till then, take care and happy learning. So thank you so much for attending this session.
Sir, kindly share the PPT, please.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. We'll be sharing the material which we will be receiving from speakers. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.